What's going on, everybody? Beythastar here with another nerd out video. This time about this mini PC I got. Now I'm just gonna talk about a little bit, show off some benchmarks, the usual. So this is an Intel NUC 9th gen. So it's got the Xeon equivalent of a 9900H. Gonna have to get it open with just one hand, so give me a sec to get it open. There we go. Okay, so in here we got a mini RTX graphics card. This is an MSI Aero ITX version of NVIDIA's GeForce RTX 2070. Power supply right there, 500 watts. And then my favorite part of this whole build is this whole piece right here. This rectangular thing is the actual computer. So this thing also has two fans on top. Extremely dense, completely packed with electronics. Anyway, 8-core CPU in here, along with 16 gigabytes of DDR4 memory, and a 1 terabyte NVMe SSD running at PCIe 3.0. That is a mini PC right there inside a mini PC. You can take this piece out, stick it in a different computer, and have a computer in a computer. Normally, this is not possible. It shouldn't be possible. It's actually kind of wrong, almost. But what I really like about this is when you want to upgrade the graphics card, unlike most mini PCs, you take this one out, put a new one in. When the processor gets old, you can take this whole brick out of there, and as long as you can find a new one for a decent price, you just stick that in there. This one is 9th gen i9, but it goes up to, I believe, 13th gen. So if you want to do AI stuff, you can use that. Or just keep it as is for gaming. Anyway, let me close this back up, and then I'll see you guys in a sec. It's been closed back up, and time to show off the ports. At the front, we have the power button, a SD card slot, two USB ports, and then right down here we have the aux port. Intel Xeon inside. On the back, we have, of course, the graphics card on the right side. That is going to have 1, 2, 3 display ports, as well as one HDMI port. And on top of that, we have 4 USB 3.0 ports. For connecting devices, we have 2 Ethernet ports, another HDMI port. This one does not work as long as there's a graphics card inserted. So Intel did something decently smart. I'll explain why decently in a minute, but they don't want you using this port, because if you're using that to play games, you're not using the graphics card. If you're not using the graphics card, performance goes down. Therefore, by not letting you use the integrated graphics, the doo-doo graphics, it's forcing you to connect it to the good part. Anyway, over here we have another port. This is aux and optical. I don't know how that works. I could just be wrong, to be honest. 2 Thunderbolt, I believe 3 ports, might be 4, I'm not too sure. And then, of course, power supply. Up there we have those 2 fans that came out when we disconnected it. On this side, there's really not much going on. You could see the back of the circuit board for the actual mini PC. But if you're going to keep this in a confined space, you want this part to breathe and this side. This side doesn't matter. Not as much. Okay, so starting off with GTA 5, specifically GTA Online. We are getting a decent range from 50 to 55 frames per second. That is on 4K high settings with DLSS set to balanced. As you can see, we have 1% lows of 45 to 50. Sometimes it does hit 35 or 34. But overall, the game is fairly smooth. It runs well, no problems detected. All things considered, I'd say this is a very solid build. Okay, secondly, we have Cyberpunk 2077. We're running two different benchmarks, but you'll only see one in this video. The first is going to be at 4K low settings with, once again, DLSS set to balanced on the Transformer model. That one gets averages about 38, 39 FPS with 1% lows of as bad as 33. All things considered, very consistent numbers. You do want to get the 1% lows to be as close to the average FPS as possible. That way, when the frame rate does drop, you don't notice much of a difference. Afterwards, I did test it out with DLSS set to Ultra Performance, which lowers it from a 4K video feed all the way down to, I believe, 720p. And then it upscales it using AI. That one was able to raise the FPS up to 60 with 1% lows of about 50. The third game in our lineup is Overwatch 2, and once again we're running it at 4K settings. I believe this is at medium or high. I don't remember exactly which one it was, but it was a 4K, and with no upscaling whatsoever. I'm not sure it even has upscaling, to be honest. And as you can see, we're getting cleared 60 FPS with 1% lows of around 52, 53. So once again, very consistent game. That's one thing I like about the RTX 2070. It's a consistent GPU. Then again, anything made by NVIDIA is going to get that better. And you also get a little gameplay of me playing as Sigma. I'm not good at Overwatch. I haven't played much since 2017. I figured I'd give this guy a try. Honestly, I did pretty well. The barrier cannot withstand my fall. The barrier is weakened. My barrier is gone. And finally, for these benchmarks, we have Smushy Come Home, one of my favorite indie games so far. This one is running at a very consistent 120 FPS at 4K max settings, and the lows are anywhere from 117 to 119. Very easy game to run, even on a potato build. Very fun as well. This game I mostly have as part of the benchmark roster, so you can get an idea of, just how well do graphics cards run with indie games. All things considered, very solid. So, what else can be said about this mini PC that hasn't already been said? It was very expensive when it came out. It's very expensive even today. Right now, with all the parts included, I would likely price this at around $1,000, especially with memory shortages. But even then, honestly, I'd say most of the cost comes down to just building such small computer parts. As you can see, that top module is an entire mini PC being wedged into what's essentially another mini PC. But it is worth it, It's a very small package for a lot of performance. You can take this on the go. You can hide it anywhere, really, and have a full-fledged gaming setup. But that's my take for it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. And as always, stay tuned for another video in a few days. And I'm Beythastar. Y'all have a good one.